Oh, to Reverend Ed Trevor. Squay, how you doing? I'm not alive or awake yet. Yeah, it's 7:51 West Coast time in the morning. It's June 17th, 2024. You should know me by now, but if not, I'm the Weaver John C. of Roseman, California. Diary of a Griever named John Weaver, which is me. Okay, enough with that moniker right there. I'm waiting for the bug guys to come in about an hour and a half to do a spring, thank God. I mean, this whole complex has been in the data for years, and past 2 or 3 months, I tell you, living in bug war, living in cockroach hell is not fun. I tell you that much. But I tried to stay away from some of the politics, including some of one of the justices' wife and the justice himself, opening up to using religion and faith as a weapon, a political weapon. See the heart. They see the heart of Jesus. They see the Bible. They see any concepts of Jesus being he's against things and against this, and they comment about the pride flag, and they express what kind of better people that they are. You had also had said in some of the others videos about not judging or condemning, and in a way we're also condemning and judging them as we are being. For it seems Christianity is again being judged as something of a strict, oh God, what was it? Quaker? Quaker mentality, or worse than that? I'm trying to remember in my college courses that I've been taking as an old fart. Something about the early English colonies. I'm not quite. I'm trying to remember. My brain is so befuddled right now, lack of sleep, and I still have to be awake until they get over here, and then I'll probably crash out again. What I was trying to remember is what was the strictest one we've had that came over that didn't allow almost anything except their own strict belief in clothing and beliefs, living style, and everything else. I mean, we're talking. I mean, that particular mode of worshiping God and Jesus, and nothing else could go stray from it. Everything had to be in this format, and if it wasn't, you're condemned. You will do some kind of weird penance for it, punishment, because you dared to defy the church elders. And they would use religion against people left and right. I think they even do that in the Dark Ages as well, more so. How dare you defy the will of God? God speaks through me, and I'm telling you what it is, because if you don't listen to me, how dare you? Now you're not listening to the voice of God. I am the voice of God because I belong to the church. And you will listen to me because I say so. It's no wonder some people actually felt these days that they were pompous asses. I mean, you talk about strict devotion to God and Jesus, I can understand that. But did he actually want us to be that much of a stick up at the mud? Stick up at the ass in this one here? But in this way, I feel like I'm doing a defiance. I am of rebellion because now I don't believe in this way or that way, and definitely on the pathway of saying, screw what everybody else has with their own damn idealistic version of God's worship is. I don't know. I don't understand. I'm a doubting Thomas. But then again, I should not be a doubting Thomas. I don't have to be a doubting Thomas. I know what happened to me a long time ago. I mean, once you've gone through the ultimate experience. I'm not talking about accepting Jesus in your heart. I'm talking about you dying and coming back to life again. I'm not talking about just as an adult, Reverend. I'm talking about as a kid, as a 4-year-old kid. So yeah, you told me, you heard me say this thing many times. 4-year-old surviving open heart surgery, 3 mitral valves, one sewed, one patch, and the other one left open because it kept going upstairs and downstairs. I'm not talking about down to hell. It's like going up to heaven, back into the body, going up to heaven, back in the body, going to heaven. Stay there already, damn it. It's not your time. So stuck with that memory, stuck with that feeling, and then having it shuttered until you get to an older age, and then you're starting to get glimpses and like, oh, terrific. Why me? Why couldn't I talk to people about this? Why couldn't I have had that memory? I mean, would that have been a profound thing to change my beliefs in my life forever? Or was I meant to struggle like crazy and go through this? Yeah, I know God gave us a freedom of choice, free will, and according to the Bible, in the Genesis, Adam and Eve screwed up. They listened to the snake, and the snake bit their ass on this one, and laughed his head off as God tossed their asses out of the garden. Was it deliberate? Was it planned? I don't know. There are many things upstairs in heaven that mortal men will never know, because it is not for us to know out here. We just have to be devoted to a point, and I don't know what that point is. But if it's supposed to be unlimited, okay. But just how far we go anyway. This is where the doubting Thomas is, because how much are we going to be totally devoted, or how much are we going to be a complete fanatic at this point over here, forcing everybody else to think and feel this way because we say so. This is what drives me crazy concerned about religion and spirituality at this point. Especially when I have people trying to force religion down people's throat and saying, you will do this, you will believe this, you will feel the power of God, because if you don't, we're going to give you the power of God upside your head. Remember, the Spanish Inquisitions are going to be polite next to ours. Welcome to the next level of crusades, shall we? We who came across over to the Middle East to convert the heathens and masses and rescue Jerusalem and other towns. We must make it pure and Christian and safe for the sovereign to come back. What do we have right now in our current time? Every time someone else keeps trying to tell me what their version of religion is supposed to be and how I'm supposed to be worshiping this and how I'm supposed to be dealing with this and this and that and this and that and this and that and this and that, I feel like just taking, I don't know, taking a baseball bat? No, screw the baseball bat. Get the Bible. Okay, that works. Now what are you going to do? Find someone's head and hit it over at them. You will believe. You will have the power. Otherwise, I'm going to be thumping this book on top of your head. You will get the message one way or another because we are going to make you and force you to believe. So says whatever kind of title I'm going to be putting myself at this point if I'm going to be into a megalomania. But we're talking about a flag. We're talking about the burning heart of Jesus. We're talking about something that's supposed to be manifested. It's supposed to be something, a symbol of devotion, of faith. So now we got to have the external stuff out all the time and saying, I believe God, look at me, I'm advertising. Don't you get it? I'm advertising. Why don't you get it? I'm advertising. Aren't I trying to do what you want me to do at this point over here? That's it, I got to nail these people left and right to the crosses. I got to make more believers. I got to go nuts over this thing. So we'll find anybody else that we don't like or maybe tolerate very much and crucify. No, not crucify. We will convert the heathens. We will convert the masses. We will go absolutely megalomania for the name of the God. Oh. Welcome to Sharia law. Remember what happened back in Iran back in 79? Converted a religion converted a belief, a way of life that should have been peace. Instead, use it for insanity at this point. And then we go out thinking that they're the enemy. They are the devil. When they kept calling us the devil. I know there was a difference between religion and spirituality, but I also know there's a difference between fanaticism and now there's the opposite on that one. I just can't quite put it into words. Spirituality, you're supposed to be feeling the wisdom and conscious of God one way or another, your own understanding of what God is supposed to be to you, or you know, what He means to you, basically. And we hold on to that kind of concept in the 12-step programs because we need Him and all the support we can to deal with the daily addictions left and right. But when it comes down for thinking of it being total fanaticism, that's what scares the hell out of me. I kept asking myself, why did God save my life? He saved my life, I think, for reasons to Him, but one reason I read in a letter, and I have to hold that in my heart, is a prayer, a pleading to a surgeon who's about to operate on a younger brother. An older brother is pouring his heart and soul out, saying, please, doctor, don't let my brother die. It's like in a way of telling God, please don't let me die. Because I think it would have destroyed David, my big brother. You've seen the videos, I hope, at least one or two of them. You've seen the camera angle I had, and of the family. Well, I got drinks in front of it right now. But my brother is 8 years older than I am, and he was having issues, and he felt connected to me, especially when I was born, but I didn't feel connected to him because I didn't know what I was feeling during those days. I was just a screwed up, messed up kid, physically and mentally, I guess. And then when I come back from heaven and try to tell people about it during that age, I don't even remember what the conversations were like, except I told my mother about it, and she was trying not to have weird feelings about it. But she never did talk to me about it afterwards, so at least not for a while until I got older, and then she told me the story again. And I still couldn't remember the damn incident because my brain was blocked and hazy on that one. Get older, lose people left and right, then you start getting images. You get the feelings. And then you get the uncertainty. But the one thing I hadn't felt in a long while, I think I kept praying for that for a long while, but never felt it enough. I wanted to get that feeling. I wanted to capture that feeling again like I had as a kid. When I got in contact with him again and just felt that energy. Felt like everything was going to be all right. That my life was in God's hands and I didn't have to worry about it, and Jesus is okay. I don't have to stress about things. Turn my life, my will to Him, fine. But I know I keep screwing things up because of my own damn will. And I keep feeling like a guilty person every time I keep screwing things up, so I have to keep praying about it. Only because I don't know any better. If I knew any better, I wouldn't be doing this kind of things. I mean, that's the logic for it, right? But how does the Sacred Heart flag, why is that being used as a weapon? Unless, of course, I'm looking at every other fanatic thing going on these days, even in the history. And I swear, Reverend, people forget history. They don't want to know it. They don't want to believe in it. They don't want to read about it. They think it's ancient. They think it's fiction. Well, maybe I should have been. Maybe I should have been a fiction at this point over here to make them understand that, okay, in your particular point of view, things didn't happen that way. We're still living on a flat earth. We still live on a pizza. There was Pizzagate. There is this thing, there is that thing. We lived during the times of the dinosaurs. We lived among the Tyrannosaurus rexes. That unfortunately on Noah's Ark we couldn't have the dinosaurs there because they'd eat people, they'd eat meat, they'd eat everybody. So we didn't have the dinosaurs on the Noah's Ark. We let them be killed off because God said it was time. Did we know it? Did we say it? Did we understand it? No, but it had to be there. Why? Because it had to be there. Because it had to be, had to be, had to be, had to be, had to be. So we have to have the Sacred Heart of Jesus right next to the pride flag to discredit it. Why? Because it has to be, has to be, has to be. Don't you understand? This is the way of the conspiracy thinking. You either think this way or else. And don't tell me it's going to be or else because. And it isn't because of the wonderful things that the wizard does either. There is no Wizard of Oz, and there is no Oz at this point. There is no golden road to walk on. There's no yellow brick road. May have been a Beatles song at one time or in a movie, but in real life, it's day by day struggle and constant daily contact with a power greater than yourself, as I believe in it. And if God still wants to run my life and not ruin my life, good, because I still need that. I still need to do the footwork down here to do things left and right. If they want to consider Jesus' flag next to pride and feel like that belongs to each other to make a message, good. But keep this in mind, you got the fanatical nut jobs out there are going to keep saying, no, because it has to be this way, because it has to be, has to be, has to be, has to be. Don't you understand? I'm going to get my Bible and I'm going to thump it upside your head. I'm going to read the passages until you scream and run like crazy. And then we're going to find you, haunt you, and then convert your ass again. We're going to drown you in boiling oil. If not that, we'll drown you in holy water. If that doesn't work, well, we'll find some other nasty ways of converting you into something else. But we will convert you, conform you, comply you, and you will do this. Otherwise, the Star Trek Borg will come out and assimilate your ass. And if they can't assimilate your ass, well, you're non-existent now, aren't you? Sometimes I think I'm saying it as a joke at times, and it scares me because there's going to be some people out there crazy enough to do shit like this. That's what drives me crazy, concerned about religious fanaticism at this point. They'll do anything to convert the people into having followers because the only way the lunatics gain more control is how many people keep being brainwashed one way or another. They must have their egos. They must have their megalomania fed. They must have this because it's worse than any other addiction I've ever come across in my life. Even doing the things we do, Reverend, on camera. I mean, I was having a conniption fit over this one last night. Even early in the wee hours in the morning, trying to figure this stuff out. Why am I start doing my live streams? Everyone else is doing live streams. Why not? Question. Why? You don't ask why. Why not? You just don't. Why not? Don't you understand? No, I don't understand. Why not? Is it what God wants or is it what I want to do? And if it's what I want, it's probably my own damn ego wants it. But I know God gave us free will and ability to think about things and talk about things. And it scares me that I have to keep following into a format here that people are pushing me into. And I don't like it. I was drawn when I saw your videos for the first time. I mean, several months ago, I guess maybe I was looking for something that I was lost, and I found yours. And you made some sense. And I listened. Maybe in a way God was trying to save my ass. I almost been through that way once before, and I got put up on so much of a misadventure that it scared the hell out of me. I almost hurt people in the process. That's what I'm afraid of. If I'm going to be falling into this kind of trap here, I'm afraid of turning into the wrong choices and hurt people in the process, and thus hurting me in the process. Reverend, I was so lost at one time in my life. I was a sci-fi nut job, but somehow I got disillusioned with all of it. Long stories, long videos, but even some stuff were not even put on video. But I was in an emotional and spiritual low life. I mean, it was a low end at this point. And this is going to be unlisted. So this is going over to you personally on this one. I almost became a nightmare that I didn't want to be. I got devoted into something that was theoretically pure, but my own damn pride, my own damn ego, whatever was going on inside of me screwed this one up royally. I almost destroyed someone's career in life. If I hadn't been my brother doing an interception on me, an interference, got between, let's just say he got between. It was really trying to protect my ass at that point, and maybe God was trying to tell me a message. Some things I was going off the deep end and didn't even realize. But I kept praying to him, give me a sign, God. If this is going to be real, I want this to be real. But if it's not, then let me know, please. He did. He did. If there was any subtle signs, I didn't pick up on it. I guess in a way, this was also telling me that I couldn't deal with spirituality or even God because maybe somehow I was afraid that I was going to get backstabbed or something. I don't know. Or too damn afraid to know. Or didn't even want to know. But I almost hurt someone. I thought I cared about him a great deal, but I didn't. I guess maybe my own damn ego wanted. And that's what scared the hell out of me. That's what scared the hell out of me. I leave some of the details out because let's just say it's going to be between me and God at this point, and the people I've hurt. In the 12 steps, they're talking about trying to make direct amends whenever possible, except when to do so would injure them or you. I had to put it in a rough shell. But that was it. I would have to make indirect amends by correcting things in my life and staying away from this person and everything else that they belonged with. I became something that scared the hell out of me that I chose, and I kept praying I wouldn't be. I didn't want to be, but I became anyway. And I had to keep myself on guard all the time. Even if Jesus was right in front of me, I don't think he'd be able to accept this particular sinner. I didn't want to destroy lives. I didn't want to do this. I really didn't. And I almost came damn close to doing it in this lifetime. And that's what hurt. Still does. Once in a while when I talk about this or even put it on, talking about it somehow, I'm afraid of the things that I could have been. And every single day I choose not to be. I choose not to be the kind of person I was. If I was going to be laying it on the line with Jesus and God, I mean, some things I still have to talk to him about, even in private. But still, confession is supposed to be good for the soul. I'm not quite sure about the freedom, though. I had been warned a long time ago, and I heeded it. I listened, I stayed away. I didn't want to go through that again. I didn't want to be put in those kind of situations where I get, they call it being led astray. I wouldn't have the right word for that one either. It's not about being gay, it's not being prideful. It is being prideful though, but thinking I knew better. What the hell was I doing to myself, Rev? What the hell was I doing? I fell in love with this one woman. And she meant the world to me. But my actions would have costed her, would have costed me and my family. And I guess in a way that when my brother got the call, and he talked to me directly on this one, I can never apologize to her directly. All I can do is pray for her. And God forgive me for the things I've done. And Jesus to forgive me for being a fool and idiot. There was a lot more ugliness in it than I give on. I'm letting out. And still, you ever heard of Robert Coleridge's Rime of the Ancient Mariner? You're looking at the mariner. The wedding guest that turned into another mariner and continues tradition. Here's the thing about reading literature, because it makes you think about a lot of things that you never thought about, and how sometimes your own situation either vaguely, directly, or indirectly reflects upon what you're reading and absorbing. Thank God for literacy. Which is, I still can't understand why even a flag can piss people off so much. Except for a lifestyle, except for a community. What people were supposed to be or are. And yet we would use religion. We would use the things that are sacred to us. And we would do our own holy crusades. We would do the holy crusades on people left and right because we feel we're motivated and God wants us to do this thing and every other damn thing going through our heads. But not the old tickers, not the old inside soul. Not inside us. I don't know if I can ever be what Jesus or God wanted me to be. And even if there was that story in Easter, sometimes I'd come across it every so often. The Master's coming. About in one village where Jesus was going to be visiting the village, and this one woman who wanted to get blessings from God and even from Jesus, she would do everything she could to keep her place clean, neat, and tidy. But there would be, and she would pray up a storm that she would be the one getting the blessings. She would pray that she would see the Master before sunset. And somehow in the story, she had 3 encounters. They came to the door knocking for help. But she refused because she wanted to see the Master. She was too busy to help. And then comes sunset, she's freaking out, she's crying on her bed. And Jesus is stroking her head. And she said to him, "Why didn't you come?" but I did come 3 times, but you turned me away. Master, how was I supposed to know it was you? Forgive me. Yeah, I forgive you, but the blessings you were looking for, you're not going to get. Stories like these that I keep in my head for compasses. I am not like any other person, nor is anybody else. But I don't know whether or not if I am the right person for God or in Jesus. I don't know. If they work their will through me, then let it be done. Despite the fact I'm one screwed up human being, I wouldn't even know what the criteria to be a good human being is unless I kept going through the Bible on this one. And unfortunately, we seem to be having interpretation problems these days. Otherwise, why do we keep having the political crap going on and the head games regarding religion versus what we know is better? I don't know, Reverend. I'm just going off the deep end on this one. God's will be on the Elitos at this point. I'm not going to pass any judgment at this point. Everyone else is going to be doing that. And when it comes down for someone to put in the Sacred Heart of Jesus, they think that's going to be a betrayal or something worse than that. That's on them. That's between them and God on this one. If they want to think and feel that way, I can't change that. The only thing I can do is me, and if I can change someone else's life for the better, I'll try. Or just do or do not. But if I can't do that, then what am I supposed to do? Sit back and observe all over again? Story of my life. Story of my life. I feel like I screwed my life up more ways than one. And I don't know if I'm going to be of any worth to anybody. But maybe to God, because He kept saving and sparing my life and kept trying to make me learn things. And I have to be a better student by more open-hearted if I can. Not having the chamber burst open again, but yeah. I don't want to be those kind of people that just kept denying things left and right. I don't want to be that woman in the story. It's bad enough I got to be a witness to someone else's tragedy that I'm the ancient mariner now who's got to keep this story going and keep it alive. And have to keep telling and reiterating the story because of my own misadventures. And I feel in my own life I am the mariner. But would I be a mariner of looking at the pride flag and looking at the flag of Jesus and saying that these things are conflicting with each other? It's only our damn political point of views and only our stupidity, our ignorance, our arrogance, our indifference, our apathy. If the pride flag is supposed to be in cahoots with the sacred flag, it is not my job to judge on this one, nor condemn. It's not my judge at all. It's not my job. If they want to act like fools and idiots saying, well, this is in the name of Jesus and we condemn you because in the name of Jesus. And I'm saying to myself, it's the name of Crusades all over again, and I'm not playing their frickin' head games on this one, Rev. I've already got enough too much as it is. And if I have to get a little bit more dirty, I guess I'm going to have to get a lot more dirty on it. I just hope Jesus and God forgives me. I do what I can to help the next human being out. If it's God's will for me to be a service, then I hope and pray He uses me well. There's nothing wrong being of service. And I'm not going to knock against those flags or the purpose of them. Not even a nut yet on that one either. Talk at you later, Rev.